Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost gone, creeds the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing. In the glass, risk it all, no brakes, full gas. Liquidation, call me sweet. Whisper welcome to defeat. No stop loss, no regrets. Code and chaos, no safety nets. Satoshi's ghost in my DMs told me to ape again and again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. If I crash, at least I tried. In this wild west of blockchain rights. I'll be trading till the lights go out. Charts are noise, but I live for the sound. One candle spike, and I'm back in town. Crypto's a fight, and I'm 10 toes down. Diamond hands with the crack in the glass. Risk it all, no brakes, full gas. But I'll reload, I play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Woke up late, charts on fire, red and green like a funeral pyre. Discord screaming LFG, but my portfolio's haunting me. Spiked my coffee with regret. Last night I longed to break out bet. Now I'm broke, not broken yet. Just one more pump, I won't forget. Buy high, die huddling. The gen brain dopamine's controlling. Ride the whale or get wrecked clean. This crypto dream's a guillotine. Fake guru with 1,000 subs showed me coins in shitty clubs. Promised moons, Lambos and jets. Now I'm left with JPEGs and debts. Scalped my soul in a 5-minute chart. Market dumped and it ripped my heart. But I'll reload, I'll play to win. Even if I lose it all again. Buy high, die huddling. Gas fees burn, but I keep rolling. Almost gone, creeds the king. This crypto dream's a punk rock thing.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Who we have here? Just gonna pull up the chat. We've got Sterling. How you doing, Sterling? Coma. Jingling. Yeah, we were listening to some Indian Christmas music during the trade hunting call this morning. Andrew, you left with the code bottle. I don't know what you're doing, but as soon as you left, it crashed. As soon as Andrew's got some kind of curse. The moment he steps away from the charts to like help his hobbit, price action just goes crazy. So he left our call this morning while we were in this long, and it just skyrocketed. And we had some opposing confluences, like a 30-minute SFP. We had an internal flip, so we closed our position early, unfortunately. And then as soon as he left, teleported right back down to where we started. But yeah, so right now I'm preparing for a potential long position, but it's really dependent on what happens right here, like where we currently are at this exact moment. So we might get a trade during this live session, depending on whether or not we get those conditions met. Let's see what happens. A pretty wild morning so far. There's nothing that I noticed in terms of news that could help speed this up, like cause these kind of moves, other than the fact, like, just the crazy amount of pooled liquidity that we had between here and here was all just basically just taken. We induced more liquidity, taking from these highs as well, and then came right back down. But we did flip bullish on the 15-minute up here, but we failed to get it on the hourly, like the 30-minute or higher. So we got that bullish change of character. We're pulling back. We evolved our strong high here to our strong low here. So what I was looking for a potential re-entry on this trade was, retest of these highs. We have our golden pocket around here as well from the impulse move from this low to this high. So we're at our golden pocket 786 level right here. It's in line with the 27-day value area low. We have the internal 3-minute strong low right here that we just recently SFP'd. So hope isn't over just yet. But if we do get a close below that, then I'm just going to expect for it to keep coming down towards our demand, where I'll be preparing for longs here again. So I'm hopeful we get like a bullish, like 3-minute change of character in this area. If we go to the 3-minute, it would come with the confluence of breaking back above this 15-minute open range, right? The 15-minute orb and the volume, the VWAP being broken, and confluence is holding this. Hopefully we hold this momentum, and basically this will just look like a giant retest of these previous highs if we manage to get that bullish structure. And I'll be going after the 15-minute unclaimed high if we get the structure we need to define a long. We're at an area of high confluence, but it's looking weak. So I'd rather wait for that bullish change of character, and so all those confluence come in line, and then we're set. And our stop loss would basically just stay below here if we get that structure. So our entry will be roughly around here. It will be about depending on the candle you go in on, of course, your R&R will be close to like a 2.6 or maybe around a 1 to 2, depending on where that confirmation comes. We had mainly just sitting on our hands until we get that confirmation structure. Otherwise, if we stay below this VWAP, I'll be looking for longs down here. Let's look here. I'm going to zoom out a little further. You can look for longs down here, or maybe even lower, where all the liquidity basically is for this consolidative range that we've been in for about a month now. So this are 3 key areas of interest: here, here, and here. But I'm not sure we'll actually make it that far. We'll see what happens. We basically got rejected off of the volume shelf that we spoke about yesterday. This is our main big boss that we need to have beat in order for us to get that rotation up to the value area high. And other than this little guy, it was just the point of control here. But then this volume shelf here would act as a form of support if we came up that high. But we never made it there. Let's see what happens. It's not looking too great right now. We don't have a proper internal pullback yet. Need 2 consecutive candles to give us a key level. And see if we get the full body candle close below here, then we're likely coming down to this low at 86. There we go. Got it all posted there for them. How you guys doing? When's Santa suit? Well, it's funny you mentioned that. 1 second here, guys. I am working on a video right now. That's just a YouTube short, nothing crazy. But I got myself a Santa suit. It's all AI, of course, but it's kind of fun. Okay. All right. So yeah, we flipped bearish on the 3-minute. Just now, we lost the VWAP. We lost the 15-minute open range. We lost the valley area. So now we're just gonna take stages along the way down. I'm not in a short. I just exited the existing long position. I did talk about hedging up here, but we never. I prefer getting in trades based on a change of character. Like a flip isn't usually enough for me. And a flip is just basically a failure to create a higher high. Or in this case, like a failure to create a lower low if you got like a bullish version of it. It's going for London low. It says 3 Asylum. Yeah. I'll take out these lows. We have in the chat. Good morning, Legend. Thanks, man. Gear wants to look at H bar and arrow. We can do that as well. Liquidation station, yeah. Pretty on point. Kyle, why is the market reacting like this? So, if we zoom out on what's happened recently with Bitcoin, why we had this fast move up is pretty much the same reason why we had the fast move down. So we had fair value gaps here, and we had a large amount of liquidity here. Once we got that break of structure out of this downtrending momentum, we got built a lot of investor confidence during that moment. And we came up, grabbed all that liquidity that was stacked here. If we look at liquidation heat maps here, you can see what I'm talking about. We just go like the 24-hour. This is the 1 month. 1 sec here. We'll go with 48-hour first. We had that really frustrating consolidation last night. As soon as we entered the long, it almost turned our trade into coin toss odds, but we still had that strong low and a golden pocket to protect our capital. So we pooled a bunch of liquidity up here, and we grabbed it all along the way up. And we created fair value gaps doing that. So when we lost our local support, and it was very weak support, and we had hit that volume shelf resistance, and we had the 30-minute SFP, we built enough confidence to encourage traders to close their positions, and the fair value gaps got filled. And you got to realize what happens to the order books when you have moves like this too is completely cleared. So there's no buyers waiting anymore unless time passes, and not enough time really passed to have any orders come in to build support, and we just came right back down. Like the real confirmation for that drop was during this moment here when we confirmed the flip on this candle. It kind of just told us that, yeah, I closed 25% during that moment of this position. And then when we had another following bearish candle, I closed the remaining of my position. So it wasn't the full move that we wanted to have happen. We wanted to make our way to the opposite side of this valley area. It's one of the main rules that we have for our clairvoyant strategy is basically, break up momentum out of valley area low or out of valley area high, right? Change the character occurrence, and then we jump in. And we tried front running that, and we did a little bit, But then as soon as we got to our first primary bear concern, that's when things struggled. Like, you can have a target in mind, but you can't assume that's going to be hit. So you have to be reactional to any barriers along the way, and that's what we did here. Allow us to get a smaller gain rather than accept a loss. All right, we're holding right now on the broad momentum on Bitcoin. This is the broad momentum here. And close below that, then we'll take this low, and we can start coming down from here to take out these lows. But despite the fact that we're going down, because I'm not already in an existing short position, I am preparing for longs. I just gotta wait for the right posture at these key levels. And the big one that I really rather us jumping along on is down here at 85,250. If we don't get it here, like I said, 83,755 is our next area, and 82920. We have in the chat. Okay, we can start taking some requests though. We look at some other assets that you guys want to look at and see if there's any positions we can prepare for with them. How to exit. I often aim too high and lose it. I took tail for 2, 5, 6. I gotta make my kids watch you and tell them this is Nade Shot. I look a lot like him, just younger. I don't know who that is, but I'm gonna look him up now. Nade Shot. Let's see. Should I be worried? I do kind of look like him. So around my town, there's like 50 clones of me. I do not have a unique look. There's so many people in the world that look like me. Bitcoin still going down. AI doesn't count, bro. I'll wear something during the lives. This Friday I'll wear something Christmassy for the live. You wish you had taken a short position from above. I hear you, man. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. It sucks when you're in a long position and you know it's not going to be very sustainable. Like when we saw this pump, I was like, oh yay, we're going towards our target. But unless we held support up here and consolidated, we were going to come right back down. It always gets reclaimed. Whenever you see these massive moves, just baits people into traps and then takes them for everything they're worth. So whenever I see this, I FOMO out. I'm more worried about it going against me. Okay, so let's get to these requests here, guys. Was your dad a milkman or a postman? That's funny. Don't fade the Hobbit. Where's Esther going to bounce? That's a good question. Esther's been getting his butt kicked. So we looked at Cardano. We looked at Solana this morning. We were hoping for a pullback after we got this break, our key level here for Cardano. Broke down trending momentum. We hit the value area low, and I was like, okay, cool. We pull back and prepare for a retest, and then we get in on a good entry, and it just never gave us any confirmation structure at all along the way down. Like nothing, just kept collapsing. And now we're taking out these lows. So alts right now have some relative weakness against Bitcoin. How's Solana doing? Solana was a similar story too. We were preparing for a long here as well. Never got any confluence. Well, we got the confluence, we just never got the structure for the long on Solana either. Because it broke us down, trending momentum, coming into a valley area. But where Solana is Like, it should have relative strength around here, even as everything else might be collapsing. I do believe that Solana will hold this area. It's a really strong, important area in a macro, like zooming out, like the daily here. It's like a 252-day value area low. So hopefully we'll hold. We have a daily order block below us as well that could help hold us up. So I think Solana's going to do well holding its ground around this area. But the amount of liquidity that's stacked above these highs here, just nuts for Bitcoin and Solana. Our next request was H bar. How's H bar doing? Oh, we have a key level draw. We haven't looked at it in a while. So last time we looked at it, we were looking at the fact that it came kind of what we wanted to see have happen with the other assets, where we broke out really violently and pulled back. We're looking for bullish structure. It looks like the last time we were looking at it, we had this key level that if broken, you can jump into a long. And if we were mindful of this zone of interest for potential opposing confluence that could bring it back down. We never actually took any of the lows along the way, so we ended up coming up towards this supply zone, which I'm surprised I don't have marked. I just marked, looks like I marked the order block, but there's supply right below it that we hit, and then we came right down. So we delete this, we keep that on there. We delete this, delete this. Our demand zone here has been mitigated as well, but we can mark it as supply now over here. Oh, this thing's still going down. Okay. We have strong downtrending momentum that was just broken and came right back down, just like everything else. So really what people will call a fake out if you weren't prepared for the opposing confluences. As we got up here, we grabbed liquidity from this neckline here. We SFP'd as well on H bar, giving us an SFP target of this low. Sorry, this low right here. And we hit that. And now we're scooping below these lows right now for H bar. And zoom out on the, let's go to the daily first. Oh man, okay. So H bar is losing important demand. So this is here, this right here is demand that was holding it up throughout this range that we were in for about 354 days. And we're losing it right now as we speak. Our next key level of interest, that's just local support here, but it's not very strong. So at 90, yeah, 0.9840, you could prepare for a potential support bounce. But I wouldn't be surprised if it came down to claim this wick after losing this double top demand zone. The measurable target doesn't always have to be hit, but the momentum-based target suggests that we'll come down to as low as 0.4840. We have a lot of barriers to prevent that from happening. We'll delete this too. This was our last long. Yeah, some noise in here. Yeah. This is a macro area of demand, or area of interest here that we're coming in on. So I'm hoping that this previous value area high holds as support if we lose this area. And it'd be an amazing spot to prepare for accumulation. This is like absolute worst case scenario right here. We're in a low gravity spot, so you have to be super careful. So two key areas you want to watch for H bar is 0.09854 and 0.07250. I can leave these on here for you. We do have an H bar chart, so you guys can pull that up on the Discord. We're hoping for support in one of these two zones. I know that's a big drop from here to there. That sucks. Alright, we just hit the lows. So we made a good decision on closing our position up here. This is where we had our stop loss involved here anyway, so we would have been stopped out if we held it. Alright, we can delete that. That's not helpful to us anymore. Let's see if we can get maybe an SFP off this for low time frame SFP. 3 minutes really high up there. So like a 2 minute SFP is all you can really get. And that already confirmed a change of character. Oh, not yet. A 2 minute SFP target is this local high. Alright, just confirmed it's a 2 minute SFP. I'm not taking it, but that's the technical target. I'm not touching that. Around here, that's what we're looking. Next request was arrow, I believe. I don't think we have an arrow chart. We don't. Okay, so I can just pull it up on my layout here. Go on Bybit for it. Jeez, okay. Yeah, everything's doing the same thing. Alright, last time we looked at arrow, looks like we were looking at yeah, it must have been around here, looking at golden pocket confluence for a potential support bounce. We got a couple reactions off of it, but we also had the confluence of the valley area low being there. We lost the valley area low. We had this demand zone, which held us for a good trade opportunity here. We got that bullish change of character here internally, and you target the previous lows in hopes that we get a continuation for acceptance in the value area, but we never got that far. So we can delete this. This is no longer going to be helpful for us, but we can put it right here for this supply concern. For confluence, Bitcoin still jeez. Our change of character level is way up here at 0.5576 on the hourly. The 15 minute we have the same thing. How's this thing macro? Zoom out. Okay, we're at an area of interest now. Got a daily order block here. So if this doesn't hold, yeah, we look at here next. So either hold here 51.91 or 42.50. We have this broad momentum that's kept it down since we lost the uptrending momentum here. Pretty rough. Internal momentum here. Yeah, alts definitely are having a relative weakness. Let's see if you have any bullish structure coming through here, but it's not looking great. So yeah, Arrow needs to hold here. Gonna prepare for consolidation to provide us some kind of structure for a potential long for a bullish change of character. You can start targeting this unclaimed high while being mindful of the VWAP, or yeah, the VWAP along the way. Well, we have nothing yet. H bar is basically identical. Solana, I feel like it's going to have some relative strength. We delete this. We're not going to get that. Delete this as well. Watch the wick level lows for Solana. We just SFP'd. We're about to confirm an SFP on the 15-minute. The 15-minute SFP target is really aggressive because based on market structure with SFPs, it's your most recent pullback. So it would suggest a target from here all the way up here. So me, realistically, I'd be looking at just any opposing barriers and not focusing on that as a target. Like the VWAP, for example, with the value area high, like a previous value area high. Yeah, 5-minute confirmed as a sweep too. Nice. Do flip bearish on the 5. Flip bearish on the 15. 2-minute SFP, and then we have this crunch against the momentum here. All right, Dot, how you doing, Dot? So Dot never confirmed our level. Okay. Our next level here. Unless we had a pullback and then a lower low. Yeah, this is our current key level for potential longs, swing bound longs. We're still maintaining this depressing downtrending momentum on Dot. And Dot's correction makes a lot of sense. It had a relative weakness alongside this pump. It didn't break any like key levels or anything like that. We instead tested this previous low just like we did here. Swept liquidity from this area here and got an engulfing tweezer SFP. So like three kind of things you don't want to see. And now we have this level here that we could get an SFP on the hourly if we close above this level. And if we do get that SFP, then we'll be retargeting this high. But on an hourly SFP like this, when you have a steep collapse, I would recommend if you're wanting to jump in along from that, that you'd use low time frame structure to define like a bullish change of character. Either be the 5-minute or the 15-minute, it's up to you. Preferably the 15. And if you have to get that bullish change of character after the hourly SFP, then that'd be something you might want to consider for a long. We can pull a fixed range volume profile here on Dot from here to here to help you find key levels to target. This being your first barrier, but getting acceptance inside this area can start evolving your target to the value area high while being mindful of the point control. our hopeful SFP target here. Watch out for resistance. Hope that it breaks, and then target here. I'll leave this on the hourly. Esther. Okay. We have an Esther chart. Let's pull that up. Last time we looked at this was 2 days ago. And we didn't really mark much. Oh yeah, this was our key level that we wanted to have held. But we lost it. It's acting as resistance instead. So when we're getting very, very close to price discovery on Esther, we have a daily or hourly order block here. And that's it. That's all we got. Then it goes into price discovery, and then it all falls down to psychological levels. Like, think of rounded numbers like 55 cents, 50 cents. They tend to be the location where most of the orders are. So you'd look at the order books and find any buy walls. If you see giant buy walls for Esther. And unfortunately, Esther is like a dark, like a hidden. Their whole utility is about hiding orders. So the buyers for Esther, it's tough to discover them unless they have hidden orders. So you have to use the confluence of the psychological levels if we get into price discovery, and limit buy walls to find areas of support to prepare for like bullish change of characters for like longs, and then targeting supply. But until that moment comes, and hopefully it doesn't, we do have support here. We do have an apex point coming up probably sooner than that. The apex point comes from the squeeze of like downtrending resistance and support, or they come into emerge as one location. So try to get as many touch points as you can. Now the resistance here is kind of spot on, but the support here can be subjective. This is bullish positioning. We're stacking more liquidity above us as we keep taking it from below us. So statistically, these break to the upside, and this is the technical target right here. So if I were to draw a horizontal line here, based on liquidity behavior, this is where you'd be targeting if this broke to the upside. And you define the break based on a bullish change of character. Don't define it based on a close above a trend line. That's how you get screwed. The target of attached formation. We have a bearish. Delete this. We have a bearish hourly order block right there. Send it back. Short confluence. Now let's go back to the 15-minute. All right, we already flipped bullish on the 15-minute. This is our strong low right here. So you can look for internal structure between this moment and this moment here. And then if that internal structure is bullish, like let's say, for example, like a 3-minute bullish change of character, you could use the 15-minute strong low as your stop loss guard and target the unclaimed high in hopes that we get continuations to the technical target. Three-minute structure. So yeah, we could hit our head here. We have supply right here. We have a 3-minute order block, and we have the VWAP. So lots of reasoning to hit our head here to induce a pullback. And if we get that pullback with a lower low, and then we come up and we take that newly, the internal unclaimed high, you could jump out and a long on that. Hopefully this time we come up here before we get the pullback, that we mitigate some of this supply, so that when we do get that long opportunity, that this isn't going to be a concern. And then you could front run The internal unclaimed, yeah, we can front run the unclaimed high here on the 15-minute and then hope for the continuation to the technical target. So if I were to draw pathing and what I would expect, let's get this marked. So we have this here. Let's mark it with a dashed line. And we'll clone that. Move this here. We get the hopeful mitigation of the supply. Take the low and then prepare for the long. There we go. So that's Esther. Hope that helps, but that's basically it, man. If this doesn't give us what we need for a long, we just continue to go down instead, and we break to the downside prior to this apex point, then this is our next zone. Can you please explain how to check for buy orders as you're explaining, Esther? Do we check on CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, or an exchange? Okay, so you have the order books with your exchange. For example, this is Blowfins, right? This is an order book right here. You'd want to change your decimal so it's actually readable, right? Like 0.1, for example, on Bitcoin isn't very readable. Every asset might have a unique decimal. This is all, they code it into their smart contract for their asset. So you might see some changes depending on which asset you're looking at, because these are decimals are a way of consolidating orders. So here you can find buy, sell walls, but it's really hard to read from an exchange. So some places that I would recommend for reading order books is CoinGlass is one for Bitcoin and Ethereum. These order books are very clear and easy to read. When it comes to altcoins, I would recommend Bookmap. Sell wall or buy wall could still be strong, right? But if you have a high meta volume and you only have a 200 Bitcoin sell wall, buy wall, we'd probably just go right through that with one tap and they'll be completely mitigated. So it's all kind of relative to the volume, but general rule of thumb is if you see like a Bitcoin buy wall or sell wall the size of like 500, expect 1 or 2 taps before it gets mitigated. 1,000 Bitcoin or more, expect us to consolidate it against it as like resistance, similar to what you'd like see like here, right? Or 2,000 or more, expect us to not even get past it. Like the 2,000 or more usually ends up happening at above or below a valley area, and then it is usually used to induce price action to go the opposite direction. I hope that helps you out, but you can always message me if you need any more questions on that. Will the exchange order book also show like whales? Well, you can kind of assume whale activity. So if you see a whale, if you see an order with a, let's say 300 Bitcoin, you expect that to be like a whale, right? However, if you see a whale, sorry, if you see an order of like 50 Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden a bunch, it starts growing slowly, Bookmap will allow you to identify something like that. But this tool on CoinGlass won't. Because Bookmap, what it'll do is it'll show you like a time. You can see it building from time over time. So Bookmap, let me just pull it up here. I don't have it on this device, but so it looks like this. See here. I just press Control+. So right here, you can see that on this tool, you can see like a red area with larger orders and then yellow, and it goes cold towards blue. You can always change these colors too when you get on this. And then you see these dots. These are based on market orders. So the bigger the dot, the bigger the market order. If you see like a large dot coming into these walls here, then it's kind of showing you that like the orders are trying to chew away that order to break through it. But yeah, these are great. This is a great way to see like how walls are evolving and changing. If you see one gradually growing, that usually means retail identify the wall and they're all trying to contribute to it and kind of undercut it, right? But if you see it just a sudden big red wall like this one in this example, then it's usually an institution trying to manipulate price action. That 2-minute SFP might actually play out. Let's see. We swept that low. This is our technical target here. Dang, missed the important part. I think he was going to say Bookmap. Yeah. Yes, Bookmap. I'll type it in chat here. Yeah, if you look that up, you could do quite a bit for free with that tool. It's definitely limited. Yeah, the free version is definitely limited. You get less charts, less look back. It only stores up to like an hour of time or something like that, but not many people even need to look back that far. Yeah. Could you also please parallel check the news? Orange Man, I think, has a speech today. Yeah. I didn't see anything in terms of data today. There's nothing important on the Forex Factory that I saw. I'm not sure if Trump is talking today. Pulling it up on Google. Yeah, about an hour ago. There's something on CNN. Let's see. It doesn't look like it'll have anything that could impact our charts, though. Yo, Kyle cut out before telling us the other site. So I cut out. Am I back? You guys are able to hear me now? Have you tried Market Monkey Terminal? No, I have not tried that out. That sounds interesting, though. I'll check that out. That sounds cool. Market Monkey Terminal. I can go on for days with cool tools from crypto. Okay, so yeah, the Market Monkey Terminal looks a lot like a combination between Liquidity, heat maps, order books. It's just like another version of TradingView with external data. Ooh, footprint charts. Those are great. You can see trap traders live with those. TPO, we have that on TradingView. Net longs, net shorts. So cumulative volume delta. Liquidation heat map, nice. Yeah, you can get some of this for free without our tools, but the footprint charts usually come with a cost. And I mean, a lot of really good order books might come with a cost too. Something order book heat map. Pretty cool. I'll take a look at that, see if it's worth using. I might mention it later on in the future. All right, a request to look at Atom, SEI, Teo, and Pump. Okay, so let's go down the list in order. So Atom. Oh yeah, the last time we were looking at it wasn't for anything significant. We had the squeeze event going on here. We're watching this key level to bring us down to here to bounce right off it, so it wasn't really anything that we could do with that particular setup. Looks like there was a setup here for golden pocket for a short. We lost momentum, and then we lost the value area shortly afterwards. Came down, and we have this descending regression trend. Gross. Man, I'm just getting butchered. Okay. Adam was the one that hit a micro penny during that crash. Like 0.001. Like anyone on Binance, they're gone. Where's our, okay, so we gotta look left over here and see what we can find for potential confluence for support. Nothing great. Oh man. So these are wick level lows from the previous consolidation before, like basically during the time where it was created, the first zone of interest. We have our broad momentum here. We have evolving internal momentum here. It's just a whipsaw in terms of price action. We did flip bullish during this moment, then we just undid it when we crashed down and broke this low. So right now we expect that these lows here could potentially act as a form of resistance to give us a continuation down. We're not in price discovery, but might as well be. Like we lost the bear market low support. Like this consolidation here is going on for 232 days before we lost it and had to act as resistance. This was a great spot for it to hold, but in preparation for us to maybe get support above this value high and come back up. But we never even met the supply zone. So Adam's getting punished. So like right now, man, like short-term game, yeah, you might get like a quick long where we currently are. But overall, we could come down to as low as 140. We could be in a downtrend up until we get to around 149. But hopefully we hold where we are. Right now we're at, this is being tested. So we prepare for that to do some pullback. If we do get that pullback and get the lower low, then we prepare for like an internal change of character here. to come up towards this supply right here. And you can pull a fib from this high to this low once we establish this as a low. But we don't know just yet. For the next request, Brave, is it possible, as you explain the order book, so someone having an order at 0.01 and the market dumps and wicks at 0, will the 0.01 order still get triggered, or will the order get liquidated right away at 0.01? So this is so one thing the order books won't tell you is what kind of leverage are they using, right? So they're not going to get liquidated unless they're using high leverage. But basically what the limit orders are is just orders where people are going to get in the order books, right? So if there's a wall order here, for example, and we came down, oh, wait a minute, you're talking about that 0.01 order. If someone on Atom during that crazy crash had an order down here for a limit order, they have to honor it. The exchanges have to honor it. So let's say, for example, you had a spot buy, a limit order here. Yeah, they would have to honor that. If they were doing a futures order at like 0.01, the limit order there, they are liquidated. They would have been liquidated. As soon as that order